crafty friends, and welcome back for another Brutus Monroe video. Today we're going to be using the die of the month, which is called Floral Tree, and this thing is just gorgeous. It's intricate and beautiful and I love it. So here is what it looks like. So we're going to be using that. We're also going to be using the Circle Foundation dies along with some Fallen Snow Glitterstock, and then we have the Tree of Thanks stamp set along with some Not Your Mama's heavyweight cardstock, and then the Simon Hurley ink in Overzealous along with Remember Me. So I've got a piece of cardstock that I have trimmed down to 4 1/4 by 5.5 inches, and I'm using my blending brush, and I am going to start with the Overzealous at the very bottom and blend that up. I'm starting with that one because it's the lighter color of the two, and I only have one of these blending brushes for now. I will get more, trust me, because these are so good for covering full backgrounds, and Brutus Monroe carries them in the store. And then we're also going to bring in that Remember Me, and we're going to bring it down into the green, and we'll blend those out. Here I get a little bit crazy with my blending, and it looks good there, and then I come in and I get it all over that bottom part. So I'm going to have to do some serious blending to make that work, but it does end up working out. And remember, we're putting a die cut over the top of it. So you can always, doctor your backgrounds and, add some texture to them, maybe do some flicks of paint or something if you're unhappy, but it ended up working out. So here it is, and now we're going to get ready to take this die cut, the die of the month, which is called Floral Tree, and we are going to just tape that in place with a little bit of purple tape and run that through our die cutting machine. Your die cutting machine might need a metal shim to do this, just because there is a lot of intricacy, but mine didn't have any problem. I have a Gemini. It had no issue whatsoever cutting through all of those layers, and my cardstock also wasn't like super heavy duty. I think this was an 80-pound Nina cardstock. So there we have it, and I'll just flick out the big chunks, and then I'm also going to pull in the retractable craft pick, and I'll get some pieces out using that, but for now I'm saving those little hearts. I want to use some of those later on. Just poking some of those through, and here we have it, and I'm holding it up to the Glitterstock because I am in love with the way those look together. All right, here's where you want to be a little bit careful. I'm using my guillotine trimmer. I'm trying to line that up the very best I can, centering that as best as possible, because I'm going to make a gatefold card. This die just seemed to scream that it needed to be a gatefold card. So I'm going to trim that down right through the center, and it worked. And then we'll do the same thing with the Glitterstock. And then once I'm happy with that, I cut it, and everything works and lines up nicely. So now we've got to get our card base ready. Again, I said this is some of your Not Your Mama's heavyweight cardstock. Love this stuff. And this was cut down to 5.5 inches by 8.5 inches, and I'm scoring it at 2 1/8 inch on both ends. So you wouldn't be folding this like you typically would an A2 size card. It will end up being an A2 size card, but we're folding it in so that it'll come out, you can open it in the center there. And so everything lines up nicely, just like so. And so we'll get ready to start gluing down our pieces. I'll start with the Glitterstock. I'm just going to use some liquid glue to adhere that down to one of the panels. And then I will grab the other piece of Glitterstock and we'll do the same thing. Just glue that down to the front as well. And then we'll grab our little die cut panels and we'll glue those down as well. We're just going to put some glue on all around the edges, and then in some prominent parts in the center in areas where I thought that it might stick up. But this took probably the most time, just putting some glue down on it. But this is a very quick card, honestly. So I'll stick the one side down, and then we're going to put a heavy block on top of it just to make sure, because I am gluing this to Glitterstock, so there is obviously some texture there. And I have a giant stamp block that I'll just put on top of that just to make sure. And then we'll move on to the next piece and we'll put glue all around it, just basically the same way we did with the other one. And then we'll attach it down to the front of our card and then put the stamp block right on top of that again. And we'll get ready to make our belly band. So when you have a gatefold card, you don't necessarily have to have a belly band, but it does help it to stay closed. So I've pulled out one of the thank yous from the Tree of Thanks. This one is a go-to. I love this stamp set. I don't always use the tree, but I love all the little thank yous in it. I'll grab a stamp block and my Raven Detail ink, and then I'll stamp that on to some Lagoon cardstock. And then I'll pull out those circle foundation dies. I have one that will work perfectly to go right over the top of that. And we'll tape that into place with a little bit of purple tape. And then we'll run this through our die cutting machine. For my belly band, I have some more white cardstock. This is not the Not Your Mama's. I think it's some more Nina. And I'm just going to cut an inch of it lengthwise. So that's 1 inch by 8.5 inches. It's not going to wrap completely around the whole card. And at here I was thinking, all right, now I've got to score it. But really the easiest way to do this is to just hold it up to your card and wrap it around. You don't want to wrap it very tightly because otherwise it'll make it almost impossible to get it on and off. And you want the recipient to be able to pull the belly band on and off very easily. I'll put a little bit of glue on both sides and then we'll attach that with our little thank you emblem. And then with those little hearts that I saved from earlier from that background, glad I did because I'm going to grab 3 of those and I'll put those down using my jewel picker along with some more liquid glue. And it just works perfectly. The blue and the green, just a really pretty background. And I love this die. I know the team has done some incredible things with it. You won't want to miss any of that this week because there's going to be plenty to see. Some just beautiful stuff. And then once that is on there, we'll kind of put that belly band back on just to make sure that it slides on and off fairly easily, and it does. I love how that works. And there you have it. And that glitter stock in the background is just beautiful. Ugh, fun card. Love when cards come together this easily. And I know some of you are shocked I didn't do anything on the inside. But that's actually going to finish off our card for today. So if you liked this video, please hit the like button and subscribe if you have not already done so. And as always, thank you so much for stopping by, and I will see you very soon in another video. Bye, everybody.